This is a really crucial race, not only for Massachusetts, but for the entire country, because who's going to control the Senate really in some ways hangs in the balance on this race. Scott Brown, in many ways, was a surprise when he got elected in 2010, and he is trying to position himself as kind of the working man's friend. His record is crystal clear. Not what he says, not what his image is, but he has voted repeatedly against any kind of jobs bills, against extending unemployment benefits, against Davis-Bacon, against prevailing wage. He is no friend of ours. Elizabeth Warren, on the other hand, is actually an extraordinary woman who has done more outside of public office than 99% of those who are in elected office. She is very clearly pro-union, has no compunctions about saying it, and we are going to be supporting her 100%. Elizabeth Warren, folks.
What can you do as Senator to help create more good union jobs?
All right. First jobs bill that came up in November would have supported 22,000 jobs here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We had 250,000 people unemployed, nearly 250,000. This would have been enough to support jobs for nearly 1 in every 10 people who was unemployed. Scott Brown and all the Republicans voted no. Second jobs bill would have prevented the layoffs of teachers, firefighters, police officers all across the Commonwealth. Scott Brown and every other Republican voted no and blocked it. Third one would have supported 11,000 jobs, principally in construction. Scott Brown and every other Republican voted no. And I just want to be clear, because this really is about whose side you stand on. Why vote no on 3 jobs bills in a row that would have put people here in Massachusetts back to work, would have given paychecks to families, would have meant paychecks that could have been spent in local stores? The reason is because it would have increased taxes on people making more than $1 million a year by just a fraction. So to me, this is about whose side you stand on. Scott Brown stands with the millionaires. I stand with working families.
What will you do to support project labor agreements?
I believe in project labor agreements. I think they're strong, I think they're good for jobs, and I think they're good for development. And I think project labor agreements have been used effectively to bring in projects on budget and on time. I think that's exactly right, so I'm a supporter. Thank you.
Federal jobs are protected under the prevailing wage law, and I want to know where you stand on that.
Prevailing wage laws are important for our economy and for our working families. We can make the investments we need to make to build a future, or we can take the Brown Republican approach, and that is give more to the thin slice at the top and leave everybody else behind. But those are our choices, and I got to tell you, this is why I'm running for the United States Senate, because we can build a future. We can do this. Last month, there was a vote on taxes about whether or not the tax cuts would be extended. And Scott Brown voted not to extend the tax cuts. In other words, to let taxes rise for 98% of the families here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and 97% of small businesses here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Why would he let your taxes go up? Because there weren't enough tax breaks in the bill for the top 2%. That's about who you're going to fight for in Washington, and that's the best I can tell you. I don't want to go to Washington to fight for millionaires and billionaires. I want to go to fight for working families. I don't want to hurt the big businesses. I really want to say this loud and clear. Big businesses do a lot of great things in this country. I just want them to play on a level playing field. I think that's all anybody's asking for. They got to be on a level playing field.
She talks to people, she listens to people, and she has the right answers. And that's what we need in Washington. We need you, all of you who are here today, to go back to your jobs tomorrow, to go back to your homes tonight, to go to your families and say, you know what, I met Elizabeth Warren and she's the real deal. The swing vote in this election is going to be, it's going to be blue-collar workers. It's all of you. So you need to go to the jobs tomorrow, and you need to say, I met Elizabeth Warren. She needs to be the next U.S. Senator from Massachusetts. You need to go home tonight to your families and say, I met Elizabeth Warren, and she needs to be the next U.S. Senator from Massachusetts.
We can build a future. We can do this.